So let's call this meeting to order of the August 15th Fire District Board meeting. Could we all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We have the roll call, please.
Aldrich?
Here.
Beckman?
Here.
Fox?
Here.
Verplank?
Here.
Phelps?
Here.
Evans?
Here.
Miller?
Here.
Okay, thank you. Would you please silence your phones and don't text during the meeting? It's the open meeting day. Could we have approval of the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Greg has a couple.
May I request consideration of two additions under 9A, change the lineup, so I can introduce the new hiring, Ryan Capel, and then under correspondence, I would like to just introduce a letter of thank you from American Legion that came in right after we put this agenda together. So two additions, 9A and 12A.
Okay.
Okay, I'll just...
Or 8, do you want under 8A? That's for request for payment.
Yeah,
9A.
Okay, nine what?
It's not, we're going to move all the items down, so the introduction is A, and then incidents are B.
Okay, I'll make a motion per chairman's suggestion.
Thank you.
I'll support.
All right. We have a motion by Pullen and support by Beckman to accept the new and improved agenda. All those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Can we have approval of the minutes of the July 18th meeting, please?
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes of July 18th.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Phelps, second by Pullen, to approve the minutes of the July 18th. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Okay, moving on to the closed session minutes. You all had a copy in front of you. Could we have a motion to approve the closed session minutes?
I'll make a motion to close session minutes of July 18th.
And can I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion by Fox and a second by Phelps to approve the July 18th closed session meeting minutes. Is there any discussion? There better not be.
We can't discuss it anyway.
All those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Public comment on agenda items only. Please limit comments to 3 minutes. Anybody? No? Moving on to requests for payment.
I'll make a motion to approve the accounts payable of $121,570.62.
Is there any discussion?
Yeah, two questions. John Moskowitz, is that like...
This PTO payoff is accrued PTO.
Okay.
Sick time.
Kind of what I figured, but just to
Yeah.
clarify. And one other one, the Sagatuck area professional locals. Did that come out of their paycheck and then we pay it? Is that how that works?
Right.
They don't pay the union direct?
They don't pay, that's coming out of the check.
Coming out of their check,
Right.
we paid.
Oh, so we,
That's what it
okay.
is.
Yeah, the first two paychecks of the month.
Anything else?
Well, this is curiosity more than anything.
Sure, no, that's fair questions.
Okay, we need a roll call vote, Michelle.
Phelps?
Yes.
Pullen?
Yes.
Aldrich?
Yes.
Beckman?
Yes.
Fox?
Yes.
Verplank?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0, Madam Chairman.
Thank you. financial report.
There's not a lot going on so far. It's just, we're just 6 weeks into the new fiscal year, and there's a little bit of revenue coming in from inspections, short-term rental fees, and we got a $2,000 grant, which is later in the agenda. And just paying the bills. The insurance is the biggest one so far, percentage-wise.
That's just a one-time.
No, then there's another partial sometime
Yeah.
in January. If anybody's got any questions or...
Any questions for the...
Why are we in the negative on education?
No, we're not. It's actually, we're the negative to the positive. It's,
That's a new one.
Well, that is.
Wait, this isn't the bank.
Yeah, basically, because somebody refunded us something, I think we got some money back for something on education. Oh, I know what it is. Wherever Chris is going, we're putting the bill for, and these other departments are refunding us. So that's what it was. So actually, because we budgeted $23,000, it says we got $23,711. So it's really a positive, negative.
I'll take your word for it.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else, any other questions? Moving on to the fire chief's comments.
The agenda change is to allow me to, with a lot of pride, introduce to you our new hiree, Riley. Could you stand up? Riley is the choice. This was the hardest I have ever had with selecting an individual. We must have had 7 very qualified applicants. I would have hired all of them.
That's great.
If I could just read briefly what Riley wrote us. My father's been a firefighter paramedic. I've worked with his father for 30 years, serving various ranks, and has taught me a lot about fire and EMS. Witnessing his dedication, this honorable profession has cemented my passion for helping others in my pursuit of a full-time firefighting career. And Riley goes on to say he worked in Graskup, our neighbors to the north. He also was the first cadet in Graskup Fire to join the high school curriculum in 2017. And as part of the Alton County Fire Academy, achieved Firefighter 1 and 2 and many certifications during his junior year in high school, which is extraordinary. He then enrolled in EMT class and earned his EMT-B license his senior year in high school. And he also was attending Great Lakes EMS Academy for a paramedic license. He currently is with Hamilton Fire on a volunteer basis, and he is your replacement for John Miles.
So is he
Welcome
full-time
aboard.
now?
Thank you.
Is he
You're on
full-
high school, right?
I've been out of high school 3 years.
Okay.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Glad to be a part of the team.
What's your last name?
Capel.
Okay.
C-A-P-E-L.
Is he full-time?
Yes.
It's like that, okay.
A lot of certifications, hazmat ops, vehicle stabilization, extrication, agricultural rescue, it goes on and on and on. He is also enrolled in instructor's class. You passed that, right?
Correct. Fire instructor is passed and complete, and I'm currently enrolled in Fire Officer 1, which I actually have a class for that later tonight.
And that's no
So easy
easy feat right there.
Yeah.
Congratulations and
Thank you.
welcome on the team.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Riley.
Yep.
You don't have to stay for the rest of the meeting. It's okay.
You're pretty compelling.
Thanks, Riley.
Yep.
All right, moving on, how about input?
Yeah, Michelle, if we could please, basically what would be of interest to you is traditionally a big month in July. We're up about 11%, 11.5% in calls. It actually mirrors what happened in 2017. Call response time is just really great. MVIs, motor vehicle incidents, while they're down, the ones we've had have been very severe. We had one 20 inches away from Dr. Alfieri's building, Holland and Blue Star. that required stabilization. We had 4 cars on Blue Star just south of Old Allegan intersection, unrelated to Old Allegan Road. Kyle rescued a dog. He had to airlift with airbags the car to get a dog out from the highway. And they just had one last night, severe one. So really brutal motor vehicle incidents.
Did dog live?
Kyle.
Yep, uninjured. Surprisingly, I don't know how.
Do we have little tags for those? We need to.
Greg,
Yes,
the
ma'am.
one in El Ferry, did they just miss the curve, do you think, or what?
Just some rumors, we don't know. We do know that he hit the pole, the power pole,
Okay.
and he just sheared that off and kept going. It's a miracle he didn't end up in the building. Remember Calico Kitchen?
Uh-huh, yeah. I thought it was-
Reminiscent of that.
Who can forget?
Yeah. Well, how come you had the grass cut down to stabilize?
We don't have stabilizers, they're about $28,000, so we kind of share them with grass cup.
Okay.
So they're struts, because the car was on its side.
Don't use blocking anymore.
We do, but when it's on its side,
Yeah.
you need a longer strut,
Yeah.
does that make sense?
Yep.
So we'll block it when it's on its tires.
Tires.
But with this situation, it was teetering.
Well, Dr. Alfieri said he should have stayed around for an adjustment, because he was a little sore after that accident. But he was, he was just amazed at how close it was to the front door, like, ugh.
It's a miracle. Pretty much overlapping calls are almost 41% of our calls. I mean, that is a huge resource demand in staffing. Really, just incredible. Other than that, everything pretty much is a typical matrix of calls. So,
Didn't we have a triple header the other day?
yep, we did 3 at one time. Yes. Next on the agenda, if there's no questions on that, you have on your item 9B1, Department of Fire Prevention, shows you the tally on rental inspections, construction inspections. I won't go over that. And then we also have Michigan Fire fatal statistics, 83 deaths and 68 fires, a 10% increase for the state. That's something we like to hear. And a 9% increase year-to-date in fires.
Is there-
Grant, yes.
Is there a cause? Is there something?
No, it very cycles. There is no reason.
No reason.
We are getting some elderly people where we're having smoking and oxygen. Smoking is the biggest problem we're having with fires.
I can't believe that, people stopping smoking so much now.
Yeah.
It's still a major fire problem.
You know, you would think cooking would be the leading cause,
Mhm.
Yeah.
smoking.
Yeah.
And look at the age group, it's men. So it's too bad. Next up, grant updates. We've got an award for another gas detector. As you know, we do an enormous amount of, carbon monoxide and natural gas and propane gas leaks. And Scott Corman, our emergency management director, alerted me to this grant opportunity. And the team wrote the grant, and we received $2,000 towards a new instrument. That helps.
What was the gas leak on Butler?
I don't know, I had COVID then. Kyle?
The gas leak this last Friday, it was coming out of one of the old school gas lanterns they have in the front yard there.
Oh,
It hasn't been used in 20 years, but it was still hooked up to the gas line. So,
At the old school property?
no.
New
It
school.
was on Butler Street.
yeah,
It was
Well-
Butler and France.
yeah, it's like the old blue, like across the street from that house. So,
Okay, thank you.
I just want to let you know, as typically I do every year, I conducted performance reviews on all the first full-time personnel, and that's all documented and recorded. And that is all I have on chief comments.
Okay, moving on to item 10, unfinished business, the MMRMA policy renewal. We've got that.
Yep, I've got that, and it's in your packet. Essentially, what you're looking at is a 13% increase in the policy, due primarily to the cost of purchasing trucks, the value of the trucks, and the cost of repair. For example, we dented one fender on a Ford Expedition, literally just one fender. They have to replace that at $6,300. So it's really extraordinary what the repair costs are. The other issue that they're having is cyber insurance. They're reducing the limitations on that dramatically because nobody wants to.
What does that actually insure you against?
So there are parameters if somebody enters our system and gets into the system. There's a limitation on how far they'll go into liability, like if they want to get in and wipe out the account.
You know, that, but our city was the same, we have, it's the ransomware, and they want, it's huge to even buy, and our IT people told us, the city, that worst case scenario, because ours gets backed up every night, we'd lose 1 day's worth of record, I mean, it's always just, I mean, they wanted huge money for a policy to cover it. I mean, they reduced what they do cover now, but we're just taking the risk that we'll have to recreate 1 day's worth of work if somebody does hijack it.
Do we back up here?
Well, the finance stuff that I do for the department's backed up on the city, so.
Right.
So do you think they dropped it from 5 to 2 because it's so prevalent now? It's happening so much?
They don't want the exposure, the $5 million exposure.
Yeah, 5 million.
So they're capping it at $2 million.
So they dropped it. It was 5 million, right?
Right.
But probably because it's happening so much, they dropped it to 2 million?
It's the number one claim,
Yeah.
other than issues with police custody. That is the top payout. Second is cyber. And they even hired specialists to try to train organizations on trying to prevent this. And it's a real,
So the loss is when they try and ransom it? That's
the
the
payoff.
loss?
The
The
payoff.
payoff to get it back.
So to give you a key to basically open it back up is.
Some companies have been shut down.
Yeah.
They couldn't
Yeah, no,
function.
I know.
I want to say, I think it was the Genesee Road Commission, it cost them $500,000 here a couple of years ago. They had to pay somebody in North Korea or Vietnam or somewhere in Asia where they had to pay them because they had everything fully shut down.
Seems nuts that stuff could go on, doesn't it? That it could somehow, somebody can get, that you can't find out who the hell that is and go bound or whatever.
Great. For knocking on the door, guess
I'm
what,
sure-
we're here.
I'm sure they could, but
Yeah.
not really. They got that guy, one guy. One missile. Send a drone.
Okay.
All that being said, at least we do, to help somewhat, we did get $7,101, or we will get $7,100 for a net asset distribution and state pool distribution that are excess funds that were not used. So that helps a little on the premium.
Yeah, very little help. It helps.
Okay, moving on to new business, we have to elect new fire board officers.
Would you tell me, you're the chairperson, I don't know the rest of them.
Eric is vice chair.
I'm the vice.
Okay,
I'm the secretary.
Dan secretary, I'm vice secretary.
okay, that's what I kind of thought, but I didn't want to. I'll make a motion to leave the board as it is if every member is agreeable.
Fine with me.
I'll second.
Good for me. Okay, the motion by Pullen and second by Phelps to leave the board alone.
Leave it alone.
It ain't broke.
Okay. We should probably do a roll
Roll
call.
call.
Then it should probably be roll call, yeah.
Roll call.
Bullen?
Yes.
Vogt?
Yes.
Aldrich?
Yes.
Beckman?
Yes.
Fox?
Yes.
Verplank?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Okay, thank you. I guess thanks for your vote of confidence.
Good luck with that.
Thank you very much.
Nobody else wants it.
We'll be sending sympathy cards out soon.
Thank you. Okay, the last item is correspondence. We have a thank you note from
So we were approached by American Legion in downtown Saugatuck to work on their flagpole. Their flag halyard fell. All the hardware came down. Thank God it didn't hit anybody.
Wow.
So you'll see right there that silver disc was wood. It's actually on the bench over there, and that snapped, and the block and shackle and everything, all the hardware came down. Didn't hit anybody. So they asked us if we could fix it. Well, we couldn't put it back up without rebuilding it. So we did a training session with the aerial tower to get up there, and then privately funded the repair by a welding firm and cleaning it up. We did all that. So. And there's a letter from American Legion Post 137, Dear Fire Department personnel, the officers and members of American Legion Post 137, thank you for repairing our flagpole. Your support of veterans and dedication to the safety of the community are greatly appreciated. Sincerely, Richard Gilman.
Good. Good. See, we did that.
Okay, I have another thank you from 3 weeks ago. A yacht was hit by a rogue wave, and it tore the hatch off the front of the yacht and threw it through the windshield of the boat. Several people were hurt. They looked like they were really hurt. They weren't all that hurt, but they took them to the hospital anyway. They ended up at my bed and breakfast overnight, and they wanted to thank everybody that helped. Chris Gargano actually chauffeured them around, picked up their stuff out of the boat. The boat was a leased boat. They took it back to Chicago yet that night. The next day was just awful. They called Hertz. Hertz told them they had a rental car for them. I took them to Holland to pick up their rental car. There was no rental car. There was not one rental car in Holland. They had all their stuff at my house, but I didn't have any rooms that night, so a friend came from Chicago and picked them up and took them back to Chicago. So it was quite the circus, but they wanted to thank everyone, and especially Chris for helping them, chauffeuring them around town.
Very freak thing that happened, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
The advantages of a small town.
Yeah.
Thank you, that's good to hear.
Explains that $30,000 bill in there to your good Lord.
Yeah. Mileage,
Nobody caught that, maybe I should have said that.
Yeah. Okay, moving on, public comment, anybody else here? Fire board comment. Stacy?
I got a call from a resident that the fire department made a call out, and she just wanted to tell how professional they were and what a great job. And especially, she mentioned Lina Starring stayed and really helped them out and how much they appreciated that. So I hope you can tell Lina.
I will, thank you. Was it a car accident?
No, yeah.
Medical?
Yeah, medical,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Will do.
Eric? Dan?
I wondered that text you, I think it was a text you sent Jay and me with a picture of the parade blocking devices and
That was a photo of Grand Haven, the Main Street.
I'm wondering, those look pretty simple, and I'm just wondering if there isn't a way to, we've got people who work with metal here all the time or whatever, but some sort of an L-shaped device with wheels on it, you could move around at will.
So you're referring to those Archer 1200 barriers?
Is that what those were?
Yeah, those are Archer 1200 barriers that we first saw in Holland. What we're talking about is a plate steel with wheels device, like the size of a dolly, that you can't drive a vehicle through. Stops a vehicle. And we first saw them in Holland, we loved them, they're expensive, but you can't penetrate through them. So in Grand Haven, the main street was shut down, they had 2 concrete block barriers there. Then they filled the movable voids with 3 of the Archer 1200 barriers. So if you had to get an engine or ambulance down, you could take dolly that's kept to the side, move it, get them out of the way and access. So
I didn't know those were commercial, I thought.
they're commercial, you know, and they're patented. I'm sure somebody could deviate from that, but
I would think it did. If you had L-shaped girder beam with an axle, that's it. Lift on this, get it on its axle, and move it. You hit that thing, the bottom's gonna go up, and the car's gonna go right up with it on its own force.
when we wrote that plan, there was a link in there for a video showing a car at 35 miles an hour hitting that, and it went up in the air and came down and never went forward. But it hits it and it flips down, projects the car up the stack. Very effective.
Maybe I'll share that with the city council when I'm reviewing this meeting. I'd love to hear them.
Yeah, they're very popular, big football events. They'll lease or rent hundreds of them and put them around so you can't penetrate the crowd.
Okay.
Thank you.
Scott?
No, I don't have anything.
Drew?
You mentioned something earlier, Chief, about a stabilizer thing that was $28,000 that we're sharing with other entities. Could we talk about that later, maybe think about maybe possibly putting that in our budget for us to get one? Would that
We
sound
can,
feasible?
we're actually, it's something we're trying, we wrote a grant for one from AAA. Actually, Graskup got theirs on a AAA grant. And we wrote a letter supporting that, saying, well, we'd like to share them.
Oh.
And then we decided, well, we should really get our own. With the volume of vehicles we have, we wrote it, we didn't get it. AAA grants are real hard to get.
Well, we can try
So we
again,
can still
right?
try again.
Okay, maybe there's some other grants out there we can try for?
We can, yeah, we can try what's called, forgot the name of it. It's a FEMA grant
Okay.
that's $25,000 or less. We can try that.
Well, just think about it.
Yep.
Otherwise, and thank you for your updates all the time on the email.
Sure, if you don't want to read it, just don't read it. I
Oh,
thought some of the stuff is...
I appreciate it, I want to read it. Thank you.
Try to share that with you as it comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like them.
Okay, Aaron?
Nothing for me.
Okay, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I would make the motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Phelps and Pullen, all those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
And Rod.
Thank you, everyone.
I hear
An old-time meeting.
I hear you.
Yeah, it is.